face the wrath of the people. Tory MP urges May to reform House of Lords. He urged ministers to seize the opportunity for parliamentary reform, including scrapping the right of 92 hereditary peers to sit in the chamber. And the MP warned peers could face the wrath of voters if the government failed to act. Mr. Davies spoke out during a debate in Parliament's Westminster Hall held in response to an online petition backed by more than 169,000 calling for a referendum on scrapping the House of Lords. It comes ahead of proposals expected to be put forward today by the Eurosceptic Labour MP Frank Field for introducing elected members to the House of Lords. Mr. Davies told MPs in Westminster Hall, "As a Conservative, I say the Lords is an anachronism long overdue for reform and the hereditaries are an insult to a 21st century democracy." The MP for Monmouth said, "I say to any ministers who are listening, now is the time for a reformed and representative House of Lords with members who are there by merit and not by birth." Calling for reform of the Lords, he said, "Let us do it now rather than face the wrath of our electors." He added, "Not only are the House of Lords unelected, they are an unelected body that still contains nearly 100 people who are still sitting there interfering in the legislation of this country simply because of an accident of birth, which I think is outrageous. They are also unanswerable to the people and they are unrepresentative." Fellow Tory MP Paul Scully, introducing the debate on behalf of the Commons Petitions Committee, said Upper House had gone beyond its remit by voting for amendments to the government's flagship Brexit legislation opposed by MPs. And he warned the EU withdrawal bill could face damaging delays as a result of the Lords' behavior. Mr. Scully said of the legislation, "We have got to get this done in plenty of time to make sure we leave the EU in an orderly way. If this bill is held up too long or changed beyond recognition, that is going to affect our negotiating position and it's possibly going to affect how smoothly we get out." Labour MP Justin Matters said, "We cannot continue to kick this down the road into the long grass. This historical aberration has to change." He added, "There are many members that have not spoken or voted for a considerable amount of time. That they can do so without any apparent accountability, an affront to democracy and an insult to the public." Chloe Smith, Parliamentary Secretary at the Cabinet Office, said House of Lords reform was not a priority for the government. "We do not think that a referendum on the composition of the House of Lords is the right way forward," she said. M. Smith said other priorities were more pressing in the allocation of parliamentary time for debate and scrutiny. "The government is committed to ensuring the House of Lords continues its constitutional role as an advising and scrutinizing chamber, but it must respect the primacy of the elected chamber," she said.